let 'em know, ready to go and I'm about to explode. Gotta reload another clip as I hit in a minute's long. Boom, shake, rattle, break. You motherfuckers are straight up fake. Boom, shake, rattle, break. I'm fucking with the minutes and certainly I'm a saint. Boom, shake, rattle, break. You motherfuckers are straight up fake. Boom, shake, rattle, break. Boom, shake, rattle, break. Contamination, mama with a menace. Bow to the masters, trouble in the presence. Skeleton handed, lyrical Satan residing in the confines of game with a relation to a monster of sorts. You think I'm playing, bitch? I got shots and ball, but I can afford to knock you the fuck out. Here come the all black man, better buck down, leave him cut down. Amputees, sick killer on the set, cold hard, he's sipping antifreeze. And you don't really want to get it with a psycho like me, snapping a veil. Hello, 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 hello. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this live stream version of The Rose Show. Today, I just kind of want to have a good time and talk about the Clash of the Castle pay-per-view that just happened, or PLE, whatever the hell you want to call it, a little bit ago. Big controversial ending, obviously, to end the night. Some people are very happy about it. Others are kind of pissed off about it. Either way it goes, I just kind of want to talk about it. Before I get started, I just want to say happy Father's Day to everybody out there that is celebrating tomorrow. I hope you have a great day. I know me, my wife, and my father-in-law and mother-in-law are going to the Dayton Dragons game tomorrow to celebrate. So I'm super excited about that. I love going to Dayton Dragons games. Dayton Dragons are a AAA team of the Cincinnati Reds. So it's always a good time going out there, man. I have such a fun time going to this game. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Hope you guys have a good day as well. I'm just pretty much, like I said, just going to be talking about the PLE event that happened a little bit ago. And yeah, if you'd like to chime in, comment sections are open. If not, I'm just going to talk. And if you like I said, if you want to chime in, be my guest. Might have a guest pop in every once in a while from the Walmart crew if anybody's available. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't matter. Either way it goes, I'm just going to give my thoughts on what we just watched. So to start off the night, at Clash of the Castle, which, by the way, if you don't know, it was in Scotland, and obviously if you're watching this, you should know that. But AJ and Cody started the night, which I thought was weird. I didn't think that it was going to be number one. Obviously, I didn't think it was going to headline with Drew and Damian, you know, being a match. Obviously, Drew was going to headline no matter what. But yeah, it was weird to have Cody and AJ start off the night. But hey, I thought the match overall was pretty good. But Cody coming out and there not being that pyro was kind of weird, in my opinion. I didn't really know what to think about that. But like I said, it was one of those things where it was like, you know, I saw the setup of the arena and I was kind of like, well, where could you put the pyro? But yeah, having Cody do the whoa and there not be pyro was kind of weird. But it was real funny. And I want to pull up this image real fast before I keep going, because this popped up on the screen. And this is one of those things that you look at and you're like, how the hell did that get through? Okay, hang on a second. I've got to pull this. Oh, man. All right, it didn't come through. Okay, so there was a nameplate fuck up. Cody, when it came up, it said like women's tag champ or whatever, and it just says like wrestler's nameplate or something like that. It was the strangest fucking thing in the world. I thought I had it in my log here, but hang on a second. I know I've got it at least in the trash can because I want to pull this up to show you guys, because it was so fucking weird. Oh, come on. Give me 1 second here. It was one of the strangest fuck-ups I've ever seen. Okay, here it is, right here. So it says, Women's Tag Champion. Oh, man, let's see if I can't get it to focus a little bit. Oh, it won't pop up. There we go. So it says, talent name, Women's Tag Team Champion. And it was to introduce Cody Rhodes. Funny as shit the whole night. Yeah, anyway, I don't know why I found that funny. I just found it kind of amusing. But anyway, so yeah, that started off the night. So it was kind of like, man, I hope this is not a sign of things to come. If this is, you know, little nameplate fuck-ups like that keep happening. But anyway, so I Quit matches. The way I kind of feel about I Quit matches, I've never really been that big of a fan of I Quit matches. The reason being is because the endings are always kind of weird. Not only that, not only the endings being a little weird, I don't like the fact that they typically end in the backstage area. Or, no, I'm sorry, not end, but they end up in the backstage area. This one was no different. This one ended up in the backstage area.
They walked back through the world's smallest hallway. Like, this hallway is like the size of this screen. Like, that's how far apart the walls were on this highway. It was fucking strange. But luckily, they didn't stay back there that long. And not only that, when they go backstage like that, it doesn't matter if it's an I Quit match, whatever kind of match it is. When they go backstage, you have to feel for the people that pay money to watch these shows, because it's like, you pay good money. And the rumor was the tickets for Clash of the Castle this year were very expensive. Very expensive. So imagine paying that kind of money. I think in American, it translated about $300 or something like a ticket. I think that's what I was reading. I don't know how accurate that is. But imagine paying that much for a ticket and you have to watch the match on the big screen. Like, I don't know. I always found that weird. Even though I'm not there, like, it always kind of takes me out of it a little bit. But they didn't stay back in the backstage area very long. But they ended up coming back out. So at one point in time, Cody gets color, and for those who don't know, he bladed, or possibly, maybe, the blood looked super fucking fake. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but it was like unrealistically colored blood. It was really fucking strange. I don't know if it was fake blood or what. I have no idea. But the blood that was on his head when he was cut just didn't look real. And again, I don't know if it was fake blood or not. It was weird anyway to see blood in WWE at this point anyway, since they don't use it that whole much. And to be honest, I kind of feel like in most cases, blood is kind of meaningless. Because you're just cutting your fucking forehead. And besides, the magic is gone. Like, we all know how the magician saws the woman in half. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know how the magician saws the woman in half. We all know somebody gets cut and it's across their head. Even if it is real, that cut was caused by a blade. 9 times out of 10. And if it wasn't, the dude's going to be bleeding in the ring and they're not going to cut the camera angle. You know what I'm saying? It'll look like Eddie Guerrero and JBL. Like that level of blood. I mean, even though that was a blade as well. But you understand what I'm saying. Like, it just feels like it's kind of pointless anymore. Especially considering how much is done, like, for the effect these days. It has no effect at all. So why they did it, even if it was fake, that just makes it even worse in my opinion. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It was one of my favorite parts of the entire match between AJ Styles and Cody. And I see people are joining in. If you got any comments about today's show, by all means, drop it in the comments. I'll try to get you on here. But there's a one spot where Cody's laying on his stomach and AJ Styles got a belt and he's trying to, like, hold a belt, and the belt keeps slipping on Cody's sweat. And it was so fucking funny. The crowd, he was chanting, "You fucked up, you fucked up," which is not normal these days at all. Unless you're at like a Juggalo show or something. That's really much the only time you can hear that. But man, it was so fucking funny to watch that. But he really, AJ really, you know, took this in stride. Point something out here about AJ Styles, okay? Because I think this part really gets missed on people. AJ Styles briefly was in World Championship Wrestling WCW. Do you like fathom that? Can you fathom that's how long AJ Styles has been doing this? He was in World Championship Wrestling at the end, granted, but he was still there. That's how long AJ Styles has been doing this, and he's doing it at a high level to the point where he's better than 90% of people out there, and he's been in this game that long. Like, I don't think we truly appreciate the greatness of what AJ Styles truly is. To be competing at that kind of a level at this stage in his career. High level, by the way. He looked amazing today. Absolutely amazing. Very, very high level caliber performer. And I don't think we truly appreciate him right now. Now, that could be because he's at the later stage of his career. And it could be like one of those things where, you know, once we get closer to retirement, it will, you know, we'll start to feel differently about it. But man, AJ, I don't know if you put a major title on AJ again, but we need to have some kind of run where we really appreciate the greatness that is AJ Styles, in my opinion. Anyway, so the ending of this match between AJ and Cody, Cody's mom, the spot where she slapped AJ 3 times, I thought was great. Obviously, that happened before that happened, AJ Styles got handcuffs up, handcuffed Cody. You could tell, like, the cuff chain was super long, so it's like, okay, he's gonna get out of it. But even with that, I thought it was fantastic. I didn't care for the finish because, again, what I said at the beginning of this, I don't like I Quit matches because it's hard to really get any kind of finish that is dramatic in my opinion, in my personal opinion. Now, the only exception I think was the Rock and Mankind, when the Mankind is knocked out and the Rock had an audio version of Mick Foley saying "I quit" play over the loudspeakers. I think that was logical. This one, not so much. Cody just had steps. It was going to hit AJ with the steps, and when he hit AJ with the steps, AJ freaked out. Really? That's what did it? Steps did it. To me, it fell flat. But even with the finish falling flat, for my personal opinion, I still thought it was a really great match between two performers who were excellent. Cody is firing on all cylinders, and AJ Styles proves once again why he is one of the best in the world. So if you have any thoughts on the AJ Styles-Cody match, please, by all means, drop it in the comments, and I'll get it on here and I'll read it, because I want to know what other people think of all this as well. So directly after that match, we had the women's tag team title match. Now, what's funny about that match specifically is obviously I've got some thoughts on Jade Cargill that I want to talk about towards the end of this. But let's start off at the beginning. So I did want to point out Alba Fire. Easy for me to say. Much props to her, because she performed at a really high level during this event. And just a few weeks ago, she had to suffer through tragedy of her mom's death in an accident. And hey, if you know anything about me personally, that hits me pretty hard, because my sister passed away in a car accident. So, I really feel for her. I know what she's going through. And man, they look excellent. I really did think her and Isla Dawn shine the brightest out of all the teams in here. And hey, good for them, because it's one of those things where, yes, they were in their hometown, but the right team definitely won. But when they won, I did have a thought like, I'm wondering if she's winning for obvious reasons that we'll talk about later. We'll get on to that a little bit later about the home team and what maybe that was alluding to a little bit. The Jade Cargill spot, where there was one part where she's in the ring with the two of the other ladies and the two other tag teams, and they're bending her backwards, almost to the point where Jade's head is almost touching the mat. And she pushes herself back up, and the other two women are trying to push her down. That was one of the dumbest spots I've ever seen in my life. And the reason why I say that is, if you were really trying to get Jade Cargill to go to the ground, you would have kicked her leg out at that point. It was very unrealistic. I didn't like it a lot. I think the whole Jade is strong spots anymore is getting kind of old. And I mean, granted, that's just my opinion. I don't think the focus just needs to be, hey, she's really strong, especially when we have situations like this botch that was live and on for the whole world to see, where she tried to jump on the, I don't know what the fuck she was trying to like springboard off the ropes into someone else and just fell fucking flat in her face. It was terrible. And you really have to start asking yourself, is there really something there with Jade, or is she like kind of like the Ultimate Warrior, where she just has the look but not necessarily the talent? Now, we all know, yeah, okay, great, she's really strong, that's cool, then let her just be really strong. Don't let her do stupid shit like trying to do a springboard off the ropes like she did, because she looked dumb in front of the whole world. We keep hearing about, oh, she's ready, but she keeps fucking up. So how is she ready? And then, granted, I never watched any of your stuff in AEW, but from what I've read about the stuff in AEW, it seemed like she wasn't really that great in AEW either. And I'm not really seeing a whole lot yet. Now, granted, she just got here, okay? She's not even in her first year yet in this run. But the problem is that you're putting her in prominent positions. So if you're putting her in prominent positions like this one, and she's not ready, get her the fuck out of there. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion on Jade. I don't know. If you got any different thoughts on that, by all means, please chime in the comments. I'd like to know what you think about Jade Cargill and her upside, because to be honest, at this point, I'm not real sure she has one. But that's me as a skeptic. I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because she does have a look. Jade Cargill has a look. But I'm starting to think that's it. I'm starting to think the look is it. But hey, my opinion, just my personal opinion. But anyway, yeah, that botch was super, super weird. Anyway, I do think Dawn and Fire winning, like I said, was the right call, because I would like to see the women's tag division really get built up. I'd like to see both tag divisions get built up, to be honest. But the women's tag scene needs more teams that you could take seriously. And this is the number one way you can do that, by building these new stars, building these people that get this spotlight spot, where they win in their hometown. And again, that was kind of foreshadowing to later, but we'll get there. But they looked great. Literally looked great. Isla Dawn, good lord. Whew. Anyway, yeah, whew, she's hot. But yeah, they're the right team won, in my opinion. I personally think the ending of that match was great, but triple tag matches are always kind of weird anyway, because it's just kind of like, at one point you're just waiting for the rules to go out the window, and they always do. And everybody ends up in the match, and the referee is supposed to count to 10, or you're 5, or you're disqualified, whatever it might be. It never happens. So it's always weird for me. But yeah, it was probably the second weakest match of the night, all things considered. But it was still pretty good, I thought. Could have been better, sure, absolutely. But anyway, I was satisfied with it, but that's me. If you aren't, by all means, please sound off in the comments, and I will bring you up here if you would like to chime in, because I want to know your thoughts of today's PLE. So let's go on to the next one. Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. The results of this, I have seen a lot of people bitching about, but I wholeheartedly disagree. The reason being is because I do think Chad Gable is obviously doing the best work he's done in his entire career, like most of us do. However, and I've said this a million times on a million different streams, you don't need a championship to matter in professional wrestling. You never have. And this theory that you have to have a belt or else you're disqualified from mattering is ridiculous and absurd in my personal opinion. But anyway, first and foremost, I want to point out something that Corey Graves said on commentary. Is they're talking about how Chad Gable gave Otis and Maxine direction, and Corey Graves says Otis thought he was a damn dump truck before Chad Gable came along. Really forgot about that. What was it, like Otis Dump Truckovich or whatever the fuck his name was, and Tucker Bulldoze, I don't even know what the hell it was. Heavy Machinery, I think, was the name of the tag that he was in before getting called up. And yeah, I thought that shit was pretty dumb. So anyway, I did think that once the match got going, it was an excellent match. To me, match of the night. Sami and Chad, match of the night. The storytelling in it was fantastic. It was a presentation of two people who have technical prowess that you couldn't ask for anything more out of anyone, period. Like, it was a great match. I loved it. Like I said, for me, that was match of the night. I thought the false finish was done really well, where it looked like Maxine was going to hit him with the title. Chad comes in, hits him with his finisher. Sami kicks out last second. And then the spot where he threw Sami on the barricade and puts him in the ankle lock. Sami pulls him off the barricade, launches him, hits Maxine in the leg, obviously setting up Otis's turn to where he just can't take it anymore. I think that was the right call. Now, a lot of people were pissed off that Chad Gable did not get the Intercontinental Championship. A lot of people say Sami's run has been mid. I do agree with that. I don't think so far Sami's Intercontinental Championship run has mattered a whole lot, but I do think it was the right call. Chad Gable needs to get some more wins under his belt that matter. I think this goes to SummerSlam, and I think Chad Gable pulls off the W at SummerSlam. Then he makes a real run for whoever has the title at that time. I don't agree, and I don't accept this theory that you have to have a title to matter in professional wrestling. I refuse to accept it. I never have accepted it, never will. But anyway, I thought that was absolutely match of the night. If you got any thoughts on it, by all means, sound off in the comments. You here? I see it right here. This number right here, I see y'all watching. Sound off. Let me know what you think, man, because I thought it was great. Anyway. So, Bayley versus Piper, to me, Piper Niven. To me, that was the worst match of the night. And that's just my opinion. I didn't like it. I shouldn't say I didn't like it. I don't know. It just seemed like too much of a styles clash for me. I couldn't get into it. It didn't seem like they gelled well together. There were some bright spots of this match. But to start off with, Bayley comes out of the curtain to no reaction. Like, no boos, no nothing. These people, being the crowd in Scotland, were there to see their hometown heroes, and they wanted Piper. Bayley walks through the curtain, Nothing. Not a sound from the crowd. Not even boos. They didn't care. Right then in that second, they should have abandoned the whole Bailey's a face thing and did a switch like they did with Rock and Austin in their WrestleMania, or I'm sorry, Rock and Hogan at their WrestleMania match. They didn't. They kept trying to still get the face pop for Bailey. And it's ridiculous because I don't understand why they would continue doing that, especially when they're doing the introductions. Samantha Irvin's doing the introductions, and you can see in Piper Niven's face how emotional she is to be in this position, and the crowd is going crazy for her. That was the second time somebody should have been in their ear and been like, hey, do the switch. Because the people were not there to cheer for Bailey. There was even a spot where Bailey has Piper Niven up against the ropes. Bailey's on the outside of the barricade, and she does like one of these hand things like she's trying to get a reaction from the crowd, and they booed her. They should have hit the eject button on that almost immediately, so I don't know why they didn't. Something else I want to say here, and I hope this isn't misconstrued, because it's going to sound a bit off, but anyway, fuck it, I'm just going to say it. If I get backlash, I get backlash for it, whatever. We hold Asian wrestlers, and we hold Hispanic wrestlers, and we hold any other wrestlers who have a origin of language other than English accountable for not being able to speak properly. Why are we not doing that for these Scottish fuckers? Because I can't understand half the shit they're saying 9 times out of 10. Like, going back to Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, going back to their promo package, I barely understood a word they were saying. Piper Niven, they're during her package, barely understood what the fuck she was saying. Why do we not hold these people accountable? They speak English, but you can't understand a fucking word they're saying, but they speak English. I hate it. 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 I know Scottish people in English is kind of like, you know, one of those things where I've never really been able to speak it that well, but come on, man. If you're going to be on national television, you need to be able to speak English properly. And that goes for everyone, Scottish, whatever, it doesn't matter. Because I have to be able to understand. Why do you think guys like, you know, oh, I don't know, it just bothers me. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. But yeah, they should have left it, done some kind of switch there. But the highlight of that match for me, Chelsea Green has a spot where she has her hand in the middle of the ring. Bailey stomps on her hand. Chelsea Green gets on the apron, starts literally poking the ref. The ref throws her out, and you know, that's what was going to happen, right? Later, she comes back in a Rey Mysterio mask, doing the exact same thing. It was just fucking weird, but it was very funny. But to me, I thought that was probably the best spot of the night for that match. Again, it just kind of fell flat for me. They tried really hard, and you could tell. I could at least appreciate it. By the way, I guess I shouldn't say I didn't like it. I felt like it could have been way better. I still enjoyed it. I still thought it was a great match. I'm sorry, I didn't think it was a great match. I thought it was a great effort, rather. I did think it was a great effort from both. It just didn't gel for me, you know, and add in the reaction from the crowd made it that much worse. Beer time, mouth getting a little dry. Anyway, to me, that was by far the worst match of the night. But let's get to the main event. And I appreciate everybody that's been watching since we started this. Thank you very much. We're going to cover this last match, and then I'm getting the fuck out of here because this is my first weekend off in 5 weeks. I've worked every single weekend trying to get to Camp Zool next week. And if you are going to Camp Zool for next week, by all means, be careful traveling because a lot of people are coming from all over the place. It is going to be so much fun. I've been looking forward to this for months like I always do, and I hope to see everybody there. So anyway, with that being said, the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. As I'm speaking to you right now, there are people either extremely happy or extremely pissed off. And there's nobody's been like, yeah, we'll see where it goes. No one. It's either you hated this shit or you loved it, one way or the other. So, I thought, and don't throw something at your screen when I say this, I thought it was the right call. Now, going back to what I said were the foreshadowing with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn winning, I thought as soon as they won, I've got it in my notes here too, I typed it in, does this mean Drew is losing? Turns out that was the case. So, to begin, McIntyre came out firing on all cylinders. This is probably one of my favorite Drew McIntyre matches I've ever watched just because of Drew. Drew was excellent throughout this entire thing. I thought that he really, really showed his ability to start off this match. And not only that, it just showed his passion for what he's doing. You know what I mean? And I love it when two heavyweights can get together because they can have matches that they can't normally have with other people. Case in point, at one point in time during this match, Damian Priest hits Drew McIntyre with a Hurricane Rana from the top rope. You can't do that, you know, with a smaller guy. Damian Priest would fucking kill him. So when you have two guys that are equally matched in size like this, I really, really enjoy it because they're able to let loose. And that's exactly what happened here. They really let loose, and I really thought this was a great match, in my personal opinion. There was a really scary spot where Damian's foot got caught in the ropes. I thought his ankle was broke. When Damian went over that top rope and his ankle got caught like that, I was like, this is it. Match is done. His ankle snapped. And how he landed, because he landed full force. He tried to do a suicide dive on the top rope. Bottom foot got caught on the top rope. Get caught. And not only that, Damian's face goes right into the fucking apron. I thought maybe he had a broken nose or something. How his ankle did not get snapped from that, I have no idea. But everything was okay. They were able to use that later on throughout the night, throughout that match, rather, with, you know, his foot was injured, blah, 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 blah. But, man, he is lucky to be walking right now because I thought his ankle was snapped after that. But I thought they both looked great throughout the entire match. I will say this. I am sick and tired of the barricade near the bell being broken. That spot has been done 800 million times in the last 5 years. Can we please stop doing that? To me, it doesn't have an effect anymore because you've done it so much. Well, the one person is sitting and just waiting to get ran into. And the second you see them in that area, you can call it before it even happens. I hate that spot with a passion. I'm just overseeing it. So the end of this match is what has everybody pissed off. And I'll explain my whole opinion on it here in a second. But a referee gets knocked out. Drew hits Damian with the Claymore. Counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No referees coming out. Finally, there's a referee comes out, and they don't zoom in on who the referee is going to be. Finally, you get a spot where the referee comes in, and you see the back of the referee's head, and the hair slicked back. Immediately, you know it's CM Punk. Everybody knew CM Punk was going to come out at some point. They just thought he was going to come out after Drew won the title. To me, that is the clear reason why you don't give Drew the title, because everybody was expecting it. I don't think it would matter as much. Not only that, Drew versus Punk does not need a title. Drew versus Punk is going to sell tickets because it's Drew versus Punk. Period. You're going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. Hell, I'm even thinking Cleveland's 3 hours from me. I'm thinking about buying tickets just because of what happened today. So, you know, it is what it is for me watching the IWC complain about this stuff. They would have complained it was predictable if Drew would have won. You know what I'm saying? So let these people complain. But to me, it makes it more interesting that you have Drew knock CM Punk out for all this time. So CM Punk comes back and screws Drew from the title. That's fucking perfect. Are you kidding me? That's your whole story for the SummerSlam match. Are you kidding me? That's perfect. So why people are complaining about it, I don't know. Drew he just re-signed a contract. Drew will get a title. I promise you. But he doesn't need it right now. He doesn't. And not only that, tell me you don't want to see Drew with that world title even more now. Because I do, because of that one spot. So I thought it was great. And Punk coming out as the official to screw him, I think was just, man, that was so fantastic. To me, was this the best overall pay-per-view WWE has ever had? Absolutely not. Was it still great? Absolutely. I thought it was a great show. Again, match of the night, Sammy and Chad. For me, maybe even match of the year candidate. Maybe not the exact match of the year, but I do think it is a match of the year candidate because, man, they just tore the house down. I would like to know where they're going to go with Sammy now that this is over. because clearly it's going to be Chad Gable versus Otis at SummerSlam. So who challenges Sammy? Because it ain't going to be Gunther. Gunther and Damian is already set now for SummerSlam. So there's that. But who challenges Sammy, I wonder. That's where I kind of want to see where this is going to go. And also, not only that, I want to know what's next for Cody. Because it can't be AJ. Obviously, clearly it can't be AJ. We have to be past AJ now. So a lot of question marks up in the air. But I thought this was a great event. I really enjoyed it. Again, probably not the best pay-per-view in the world, but what a PLE. God, I'm never going to get used to PLEs. Not the best PLE in the world, but still solid in my opinion. So yeah, I appreciate everybody that's been joining me for this and watching. I just wanted to give my opinion on it. That was a quick 30 minutes. Wow, I just looked up at the time and saw we're at 31 minutes as of right now. That was a lot of fun. Anyway, appreciate it. If you're watching this after it's gone live, by all means, let me know what you thought, because I thought it was great. I'd like to know what you think as well. So, much love, y'all. Again, happy Father's Day, and thanks for joining me. Whoop, whoop. See y'all at Capsule number 4.